Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Well, it looks like it's going to be a fairly quiet week as we crest in the first official 7-day week of October of 2025. Last week it was kind of business as usual once again with the introduction of Meta Moon and a handful of other previous reward prizes from earlier years and earlier events. It looks like this week is going to be fairly close to the same thing, with the introduction of one brand new model and a handful of returning rewards for players that perhaps missed it the first time around. But it is still going to be fairly exciting all the same here on the MNN front with all the news that I have for you guys here this week. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week, starting with the gacha banners and who to expect in this week's lineup. And for the first time in a pretty hot minute, actually, we actually have several and multiple highlighted banners that are going up alongside the boosted rates being shared across all three of them. Now, the new model that is officially joining the game is MGN0 Morgan Roofe, who made her first debut in Meta Survivor, designed by Junya Ishigaki, who is also known for his work in Xenogears. But Morgan Roofe, the Morgan Roofe FE type, is introduced with a kit of Replay Shot, Hyper Power Missile, Disturbance, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Through Shot. So, compared to stuff that we've seen in the past so far, nothing overly new or obscenely powerful or game-breaking that Morgan Roofe is introducing, but still a very powerful kit all the same, especially geared toward females, where DPS isn't exactly something that a lot of female teams tend to have emphasis on. But alongside Morgan Roofe are a handful of other models from Meta Survivor making some comebacks and boosted rates. Those extra banners are for PTR0 World Cup, with a kit of Mudshot, Mega Gatling, Anti-C, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Super Armor, and GSS0 Ghost Ship, with Hyper Beam, Tornado, Ghost Shot, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Marine Up. So ultimately, between all three of the models you see here, all three of them are obscenely powerful in their own right, either as pure set or as mixed parts. Morgan Roofe, for instance, for your general gunpowder style DPS, and the ability to either stall anyone using non-attacking moves or even forcing encore states. World Cup essentially for your general anti-C coverage between Mudshot and anti-C. And of course, Biped Legs with Super Armor is honestly pretty tough to miss out on as well for what it brings to the table. And Ghost Ship for your all-around general female DPS, which breaks a lot of molds where female teams tend to want to struggle in or maybe not have nearly as many parts readily available. And of course, Marine Up is also a really good leg ability to have if you are looking for something as far as terrain coverage is concerned. Now, for the boosted rates going live for all three of the pickup banners going live this week are a couple of familiar faces for any RPG lover's delight this week, as we kind of focus heavily on especially on Morgan Roofe FE and Morgan Roofe in particular. But this week for boosted rates, we have the introduction of FSL02 Fancy Pearl, who has Confusion, Break Rush, Meteor, Flight Legs, and Pure Heart. And another very familiar face everybody knows and loves and recognizes, MAG0 Darkness Mage, the original Sorcerer Wizard type, with a kit of Canceller, Double Slip, Tank Legs, and Weapon Master. Now, compared to the big pickup models that are going live this week, these two aren't necessarily as, say, obscenely powerful or user-friendly as anything else might be, but still some very good parts all the same. Darkness Mage in particular, having Slip is really nice as it does allow it to cancel just about any guard that it comes up against that tries to intercept it. Whereas Fancy Pearl with Meteor and Break Rush does give it some fairly solid DPS coverage in the punishment category, either for gunpowder based DPS or even for Break Rush with Gravity and Heavy Punish. Now, for the Fierce Battles this week, it's going to be a very high variety utility week as well, with a lot of models sporting a lot of different skills and kit and parts. This time around, for the top row, we're sporting CLA-01 Kanahachi Mach 2 with Triple Hold, Sea Legs, and Multi-Legs, and Mariner. GBD-01 Blast Beat with Guard Boost, Double Break Hammer, Tank Legs, and Barrier. and GBG-01 Fretbeat with Fight Boost, Beam Sword, Fire, Biped Legs, and Generator. On the bottom row, we're sporting GBB01 Slap Beat with Shoot Boost, Beam, Thunder Shot, Flight Legs, and Radiator. SGT0 Sagittarius with Suction, Defense Eat Seal, Evade Seal, Flight Legs, and Hidden. And KIN0 Kintaro with Press, Double Hammer, Biped Legs, and Endurance. Now, like I said, it's going to be a very high variety utility week, so realistically, you could pick any one of these 6 models out of a hat as a particular high value MVP of the week in particular, and really not go wrong, because all of them sport at least one really good part. Kenahachi Mach 2, for instance, gives you legs with an additional terrain coverage with Mariner. Slap Beat gives you heavy punish with double break hammer. Fret Beat for basically a free access to Beam Sword if you need something that is CG reliant and powerful. Slap Beat for Thunder Shot if you do need it. Sagittarius for defense and evade seal to guarantee that hits land and or crit. And Kintaro for just your general AoE melee damage and coverage. So, like I said, you really can't go wrong no matter which one you pick, but ultimately I do have to give the emphasis to Kenahachi Mach 2 this week, primarily on the grounds that hold is actually pretty solid for being able to slow enemies down, and the ability of Mariner on multi-legs is nice as it does give the legs extra advantage and grip on terrains that most other leg types tend to struggle on. Multi-legs and sea terrain in particular do not mesh very well, unfortunately, so Kenahachi Mach 2 is definitely going to be raking in the bonuses this week in what he brings to the table. For events, though, it is going to be kind of business as per usual as a Meta Survivor themed filler event. And if you guys may see this and find it fairly familiar from something in the past, that is because you are absolutely right. I actually didn't realize it at first until I was checking my notes and compiling everything, but they're basically rerunning the Meta Survivor tie-in event back from mid-May or earlier this year. So with this event, we have the opportunity to earn or re-earn if you if you missed them the first time, the Nightmare Medal, which is a Hunter Nature medal with a mastery in shooting, healing, and defense, and leg masteries in multi-flight and sea. We can also earn NTB0TP, which is triple melt, biped legs, and straight. And of course, we can also earn another run of the monthly gacha tickets for, of course, October, and any other miscellaneous limited time rewards. Much like that event back in May, this event also will be featuring boss fights, so pure sets will be encouraged. Do consult the previous slides for any of the models giving you the highest bonuses thereof. Now, to explain boss fight briefly, it is fairly simple. It is more or less kind of score attack, but with a little bit of an extra caveat to it. Essentially, every time you complete a level, you start a timer for a boss encounter. And when you accomplish a certain number of boss encounters, you are able to challenge them for extra rewards or even more limited time stuff. So it is a fairly easy event compared to all other events we've seen thus far. Score attack, point-based, Metameister. So not really anything to scoff at, really, and going to be a fairly light event. I have a theory that they're probably keeping October light on purpose to try to start prepping to hype up Medarot Day 2025, which will be late next month. But only time will tell based on patterns and what also will be coming as time progresses closer to the day. For Meta Survivor, it is also going to be a relatively quiet week there as well, with a reset and rerun of a new event featuring God Emperor and Beastmaster. So not really anything new to particularly shoot for or emphasize there specifically with what's being brought to the table. Basically just complete it for your usual weekly rewards and usual resources, so not really anything to mention, but if you are looking for that, please do make sure that you keep an eye on it, featuring, of course, any extra gacha banners that are going live through the course of the week for Meta Survivor. Now, like I said, that does basically cover everything for Medarot games specifically, because it is going to be a fairly light filler week. But moving on to community-based stuff, though, as always, we are continually looking for translators to assist us with any of our ongoing projects or endeavors. Right now, Medarot 4 is currently the one getting most of the attention as needed, and any of the manga projects also on a as interested basis. But if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, or if you know somebody that might be willing to lend a hand, definitely feel free to reach out to me or ask around in the Project Rising Beetle Discord. Link provided in the comments below, and we can get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what still needs done and what has been done. Alternatively, and I have said this in multiple episodes, there is also a link to Variant's crowdfunding in the comments below as well, where you can donate to the cause, and we can commission to have some of those extra lines of text translated. The more stuff that gets translated, the easier it is for the team to clean and typeset, and essentially start putting patches together to do proper playtests and debug, just to make sure everything's working as proper. Now, moving on, though, the other really big thing that's going on here with Project Rising Beetle is the PRB Ori Meta contest that is officially 3 weeks in as of today. This contest in particular is featuring a free-for-all theme, so there is no theme prompt required for any designs that are being submitted, and the contest is running from the 16th of September to the 11th of November. So 2 months of being able to put contest entries in before the contest does officially close. And the reward, of course, I will be offering personalized concept art for any design, for the winning designs that are chosen, but there is also a really lucrative cash prize on the table for anyone that does score a top spot or a runners-up. You can see the rules in the Project Rising Beetle Discord server for more details on that, but there are a couple of conditional caveats that are added on there I see a lot of entries by the end of the contest. So do make sure you take a look at those specifically, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you all come up with as we celebrate Medarot Day 2025 in the coming weeks, leading up to the day itself at the end of next month. Now, something I've actually taken out for a pretty hot minute now, mostly just because I've not seen a lot of art to share or reshare recently, is your boy got another piece of fan art here recently by a friend of mine, Kotodama VD. Really good friend of mine. I've been getting to talk with them and get to know them for a while, but they've been working on a Doodletober, I think they called it, which is basically picking a content creator or VTuber that they do a brief doodle on once a day over the course of October. So I had the wonderful honor of being chosen as a part of Day 5 for Kotodama's little challenge, and let's be real, I'm kind of gushing over this. It's my current profile picture right now because I never received I never received personalized art or fan art at all. So this is really nice. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kotodama, for what you've done. Thinking of me for that, I really do appreciate it. Furthermore, your boy's going to be even more so busy over the next couple of weeks with a couple of Ori Meta art streams here on the MNN on the workshop floor. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys already know about these, but to bring you guys up to speed, I will be having a couple of guests that will be gracing the MNN for some concept design here on the MNN with Ori Meta art streams. On the 10th of October, so about 3 days at time of recording on October 7th, I will be having a retired Sentai hero Falco joining us here on the MNN for a concept art. And then, of course, on the 17th of October, I will be having Kyla Neko join me. 7 o'clock in the evening for Falcos on the 10th, and 7:30 in the evening on the 17th. So, really looking forward to having both these friends grace the MNN and come hang out with me for a couple hours. I have no clue what we're going to be designing, since that is my usual rule when I have my guest artists come on in and join me for that. So I'm very excited for that, and I do hope you guys will be tuning in all the same when those streams do officially go live. Speaking of art, though, as a final note before I do wrap us up, as a friendly reminder, I am also always open for art commissions. So if you are looking for a live 2D model ready to rig, a 3D model with the works, or even just standard art to varying degrees as well, or emote bundles, I will do just a little bit of everything. So feel free to reach out to me, and we can definitely make something happen. You can reach out to me on Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever your social media platform of choice is, and we can most certainly try to make something happen. I will do just about anything, like I said, minus anything NSFW or Core, so just something to keep in mind. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to work with you and try to figure something out. But, like I said, that does basically cover everything for this week's episode, so it is going to be an extremely light and fairly quiet week as far as Medarot S is concerned, and I think after the excitement of the Dendo collaboration, the fans are going to be really appreciating this time to relax and recoup and kind of collect some resources for a while, because that collab was certainly very exciting with the new models and all the new skills that were being introduced, so it is going to be very nice to have a chance to breathe. That being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community that is currently swelling over 51,000 members and growing. You can also join us on Discord, like I said, at the link provided and in the comments below, and this will allow you to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, contests, fan art, my weekly episodes, or anything else of the like. that is the first place you're going to hear it before it goes anywhere else on the net. You can also reach out to me, like I said, personally on Twitter, Blue Sky, or Discord at Isagamikura, so do not hesitate to reach out to me and say hello. I would absolutely love to try to make something work with you, whether it be a art commission, a suggestion, a conversation, or even if you'd like to guest on the MNN or have me stop in on your channel. I would love to try to make something happen, so do not hesitate to reach out to me. I leave my DMs open on purpose for that very reason. Lastly, do also support Kotodama as a fairly new VTuber content creator on the scene with what he does. Working on the Doodletober, like I said, I'm so thankful for that fan art that he did of me. Definitely give them a follow and support. Tell them that your old pal Kura sent you their way. And follow the official Medarot page on Twitter at Medarot Show, where you can get all the news straight from the source from all things Meta S, Meta Survivor, and anything Medarot related in between. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.